Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar. Today we'll be talking about how to supercharge your Marketo campaigns with our Socedo Marketo integration. My name is Jing Song. We're JC. I'm the Content Marketing Manager at Socedo, and I have Adam Hutchinson on the line. He is our Marketo expert here, and he heads up demand gen at Socedo.
Hi everyone.
Cool. So by integrating your Socedo account with your Marketo account, you gain the ability to follow up with your social leads and track how these leads move through your pipeline. With social media activities data provided by Socedo, you can easily go into Marketo to build new email campaigns, nurture programs, and other marketing workflows to engage with your social leads. If you have yet to connect Socedo to your Marketo account, you can find detailed instructions on how to do that in the product documentation section of our website. But in this particular webinar, we'll just assume you've already connected your Socedo and Marketo accounts. The primary thing we're going to do is show you how you can customize your Marketo integration settings to fit your business needs. We'll spend a bit of time in the reporting section of Socedo once you've connected to your Marketo account, and we'll show you the key metrics you can see about your Marketo leads and how they move through your pipeline. Then we'll dive into Marketo itself, where Adam will walk you through how you can find the social media activities data on your leads. And finally, we'll talk about how you can use the social media activities data to spin up new campaigns, to nurture your leads, to use this data to enable accurate lead scoring for real-time marketing. Okay, I'll hand it over to Adam now to walk you through the rest of what we're going to talk about.
Awesome. Thanks, JC. I'm super excited to talk about this today. This is, basically why I live and breathe Socedo. Super excited to really look at Socedo from the whole demand gen aspect here. So if we look at really what's happening when we connect our Socedo accounts to our Marketo accounts, we see that there's a few different kind of data settings that we can set up to flow between the two. So the first one here within our configuration settings on the lead export tab of Socedo, we see that we can choose to either flow in all approved leads that show up in the prospect discover bucket that we hit approve on, or just the ones that follow us back. So is it just everyone that I find qualified, or is it the people who are self-qualifying by following me back and showing interest? We choose followers only, but we have several customers who are doing all approved leads even. From there, most people are choosing to only export the leads into Marketo that have email addresses. That way they can do follow-up marketing with them. However, some people choose to export all leads, and you can still do lead scoring off of someone. You can track when they hit your landing page or something and eventually hopefully capture their email address. And finally, Socedo can either create a net new lead when it finds an existing email address in your Marketo database, or update that new lead. So this setting right here is basically just saying if Socedo checks your database and sees that an email address already exists, it will either create a new lead and then you can use your own deduplication tool to merge those leads together, or if you feel comfortable just go ahead and adding your social data from Socedo onto that existing lead record, you can just select create new or update. Once that's all set up, leads will start flowing into your Marketo database, and here's all the different data that actually comes with them. So what you'll see here is, obviously the normal things that you would see, your first name, your last name, your corporate email address, as well as the social media actions like the tweets and the DM responses. But what's really great about our export is we append additional data as well. And so everything from their enhanced profiles, where they're located, their job titles, the companies that they work at, even things like their clout score can go into here. Their LinkedIn URLs, their company sizes, contact information, pretty much anything you want can be exported into Marketo from our Socedo data. Now straight from Socedo, we can actually track all the way down the demand gen pipeline from our report section in Socedo. So this is what the Marketo report actually looks like on the reports page. So which kind of breaks it down into 3 sections. The first one here is make sure we're following up with every lead. Because we know social media leads are so valuable, we want to make sure that we're hitting every one of them once we import them. So we can see here, from the last month, I've imported a little over 4,000 leads from Socedo into Marketo. Of those, I've contacted almost 4,000 of them. That means I have another 450 that, either maybe they're net new leads, I haven't had a chance to email them yet, or maybe I'm not doing a very good job about capturing all of my leads, and so I need to go in there and make some more campaigns to capture everyone. Here we can see email activity like a funnel. How many emails total across my Marketo instance have I sent to these Socedo leads? So this is, our first touch emails, as well as all of our nurturing emails and some of our product feature announcement emails. Out of those, how many were opened and how many were clicked. I can also see certain segments of website activity, like, clicking on links, visiting certain website pages, filling out forms. And what's really great is with the Marketo reporting, if you have Marketo hooked up to Salesforce, you can see all the way through to the sales pipeline how many of the Socedo leads made it over to Salesforce and how many were converted into an opportunity. And this is just over the last month, 16 net new opportunities from Socedo based on the leads that we've synced together. So that's really great stats right there. Now if we dive into Marketo itself, a lot of people will start with, where are my Socedo leads? So the first thing you can do is create a smart list. And when Socedo syncs leads over to Marketo, the lead source is automatically updated as Socedo. And of course you can change this on your end. But if you just want to see all Socedo leads, create a smart list to find leads with lead source Socedo, and this will pull up everyone that Socedo has ever synced into your Marketo instance. And then if we click on one of our leads here, we can actually dive in further and see exactly the social activities. And so what Socedo is doing, see here, is adding social media activities right onto the activity log. So in this instance, Erin here followed me on Twitter. And that's one of the actions that she took that raised her hand and said, hey, I'm an interested social lead. That's not all she did, though. She's been really active with us over here at Socedo. She also followed our CEO, Asim, on Twitter. This is probably a really active lead, and as you can see, she's been opening our emails and moving through my funnel over time.
So, Adam, what are some things, from a campaign perspective you can do with the social media activities data on your leads?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, just taking those two little social share activities, for example, what we'll want to do is actually do some real-time marketing, very personalized marketing to them. So, Erin, for example, you'll notice we had that shared content message that contained, she followed me. So this little trigger right here in Marketo is going to pull up everyone that Socedo synced in who engaged with my Twitter handle on there. So whether she retweeted me, followed me, and I could get more specific, I could say followed at Adam is Writing, but this is going to pick up everyone who engaged with at Adam is Writing Twitter handle on Twitter that came in from Socedo. So Erin would be included in this. And from there, there's a few things I want to do. The first, I definitely want to increase her lead score. I know that socially engaged leads move through the demand gen pipeline about 25% faster than leads from other channels, and we have a great study about this on our blog. And so because of that, I want to increase your lead score and get her over to sales as quickly as possible. Then I definitely want to send her a follow-up email with another piece of relevant content. And I usually like to wait a day before sending a follow-up email, so that way it doesn't seem too automated, but we're still top of mind, and it's, we can follow up within the same context. And this email is a pretty simple one. It's just a plain text email that says, hey, thanks for connecting on Twitter. It was always great to meet you, and I'd like to send you this really relevant ebook that I think you might like. And so let's pretend, for example, Erin is a content marketer. Then I would want to send her more relevant content about content marketing. So I'm going to add her to a nurture stream in this engagement program around content marketing that's going to continue to send her emails over time relevant to her interests. And if I find out more things about Erin over time, of course, I can move her to different nurture streams as well based off of that.
So this is something that you can do to every single lead who follows you or who engages your handle. It becomes an automated process, right? But it's a way that you can send them still messages that feel relevant and personal.
Yeah, exactly. And these first touch emails, they have crazy rates. And people ask me a lot, hey Adam, these leads didn't opt into my forms. They're net new leads. I can't just email them right away and send them a piece of content. But yes, you can, and actually it works really well. So this email right here, thanks for following, it's activated by this campaign, the leads to sync over from Socedo. And it's a pretty simple workflow, but basically it just sends that email out. And what we find are really great engagement rates. So if you see here on this, out of the ones that we've synced so far, straight from my handle, we have a 44.1% open rate on this thanks for following email, and a 4.6% click-through rate. And that's double industry average, right? The industry average on a cold email is around 20% open rate, and if you're lucky, a 2% click-through rate. So these are really good stats. And what we've actually found across the board, across all of our different Socedo accounts, the average open rate is around 44%, and the average click-through rate is actually around 6%, which is super high. And so even though these are net new leads in your system, they're cold leads, they haven't opted in yet, you have to remember these are warm leads who have also already engaged with you on Twitter. And so they do want your content, they've already expressed interest, and you know something about them. So it's really easy to send them relevant content over email.
Wow, those are really impressive results. So it sounds like Socedo is a tool where in addition to monitoring your brand handle or handles of specific employees, you can also use it to monitor keywords. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. You can actually, we have the social lead monitoring solution that you can monitor specific keywords like your brand handle already. But also you can monitor your competitors. You can monitor relevant industry keywords. You can also monitor event hashtags. And so this is kind of one of my favorite examples of this feature. Socedo recently sponsored the Marketo Summit, and I set up a campaign that basically listened every time someone tweeted the hashtag for Marketing Nation Summit, the Marketo Summit. So pretty simple. The same way I set up that other campaign, instead of engaging with my handle, now this is anytime someone engages with the Marketing Nation Summit. And I have this one set up in Socedo to track it. And so I'm saying in this campaign, anyone who engages with it that I haven't set up a demo with yet for the Marketo Summit, I want to make sure to get in contact with them. And so what I'm going to do is send this email that basically just does two things. It's a really plain text email, but it invites them to our happy hour down at Summit, which was really awesome. And it also asks them to schedule a time to set up a demo at our booth. And this is actually how we scheduled all of our demos down at Summit, was just through this email campaign. So it works really well. It was one very easy step for me to set up. But out of that, we had a higher ROI off of our event marketing because I was able to listen to real-time actions and figure out who might be going down to Summit and engage with them there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the same kind of concept can be applied obviously to many other things to fast track your leads through the funnel. So, you can set up a campaign to listen to an influencer in your industry and what their handle might be. Send them a piece of content with a webinar that you did with that influencer, or maybe an article that they wrote. But the key here is that using social media for demand generation, you can listen to what people are really interested in and send them relevant content to move them through the funnel faster. So yeah, that's pretty much the Marketo overview. JC, do you have anything else you want to add?
Wow, that is really interesting to just, I didn't realize how many different things you can do, right? It really, there's kind of endless possibilities, right? You just kind of have to come up with, what are the keywords you want to track, right? That's relevant to your audience. And, to a large extent, if you think about it, you already know what these things are, right? Because that's what forms your content marketing strategy. You can take these keywords and set up really simple automated workflows in Marketo to reach out to these leads.
That's exactly right. So that's a little bit of a deep dive into our Marketo integration. Hopefully that gives you some good insights on how you can use social data in your demand gen. But certainly reach out, talk to our customer success team, or just talk to JC or I and let us know if you have any questions or ideas about what you want to try with social data. Thanks, everyone.